Hey, you guys, welcome. My name is Polly Brothers. I'm an independent consultant and a regional vice president with Arbonne. And I've been getting a lot of questions lately about Arbonne 30 alongside other things like intermittent fasting or Whole 30 or whatever it is that that you may be looking at doing. And my background is fitness. I've been in the fitness profession for almost 40 years. I'm actually studying right now for a nutrition certification from this big guy, giant book here, but it's called Precision Nutrition. And I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian or anything like that, but have just been in this world for a really long time and tried a lot of different things. And so I want to focus on intermittent fasting for the purpose of this little video, and why you would do the Arbonne 30 alongside it. If intermittent fasting is your jam, if it's your thing and you love it, great, don't stop. I love intermittent fasting. In fact, I did it recently for about 3 months and absolutely loved how I felt on it, and loved studying about it and researching it and the benefits from intermittent fasting. But I just want to say that it doesn't, when someone is going to do that or some of the other programs that I mentioned before, it doesn't mean that you can't do the Arbonne 30 alongside it. And I want to give you some reasons why you would, because I did the intermittent fasting together with Arbonne 30 and the results were phenomenal. And I've done the Arbonne 30 without intermittent fasting. So, and the results are great, but so there's both ways to do it. But, so here's the thing, if you're not familiar with intermittent fasting, it's hard to say. It's actually been around a really long time in history. There's, that's just what we call it now, but fasting, of course, there's so many reasons why people fast, whether it's for religious reasons or, and times when, food was scarce or whatever. But now people choose to do it for a lot of times for weight loss. But there are so many other benefits. And so I just wanted to kind of explain the basics about it and sort of why you might consider doing that if that sounds, like something you're looking at. And there's a lot of different ways to do it. So I chose to do a method called 16 and 8. And so it's where you actually fast for 16 hours. And so I chose to do that from 8 at night until noon the next day. So that was my 16-hour window. And then I had my 12 noon until 8 at night window that I would actually eat. And then during those 8 hours, I did eat good food, but I also incorporated the Arbonne 30, the protein powder for my protein shakes, the probiotic, and all the things. So for women, they do say, I will tell you that they do say that it's a little tougher to do that 16 and 8. I didn't really find that. I found that it worked really well for me, but you can always start with a shorter window, like maybe 14 hours, that kind of thing. So why would you do intermittent fasting? What's the deal, right? So one thing that we know is that when you're bringing in sugars, particularly carbohydrates, things that are, especially refined sugar, that kind of thing, that are things that are quickly broken down into sugar. That's what our cells store for energy. So if our cells don't use it all, then what happens is they actually will store it in our fat cells. But sugar can actually only enter our cells along with insulin. Insulin is a hormone. And so, it's made in the pancreas. And so your body has to produce insulin to help, actually enter the cell, put the sugar into the cells. So insulin brings sugar into the fat cells and it keeps it there. So what happens when you fast is your insulin levels go down and your fat cells can actually release stored sugar to be used as energy. And then you actually will lose the fat as well, if that makes sense. So when our insulin levels go down, if we can kind of keep them down, then we actually can lose weight. So that's one part of what intermittent fasting does. So that's sort of the entire idea there, is just that to let the insulin levels go down for long enough that we burn off the fat, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's one part of it. There's so many other benefits. You guys can Google it. So if you're interested in intermittent fasting and why you might consider it, there's a lot of things that are coming out with, it can help with cognitive function. I did find that. I found that my focus was better. I also use a crazy, amazing Arbonne product called Mind Health that helps with that. But here's the thing, okay, and this is the crux of what this video is about, is if you are doing intermittent fasting and you're thinking, okay, well, I'm going to do, this fasting thing. And in those 8 hours, I'm just eat whatever I want, because you can, and you will see some results from intermittent fasting. Like basically, no, you can't intermittent fast. And then during those 8 hours, eat like 5,000 calories. I mean, that's defeating the purpose. So there is that part of, hey, I'm going to eat less. But one thing I found is I wasn't like super starving during those 16 hours by any means. I did have a fizzy in the morning that really, really helped me. And that didn't raise my insulin levels because there was nothing in it, no sugar or anything like that to do that. And it did have some B vitamins. And so it did give me a boost in the morning and help me to kind of make it through that 16 hours. So if you're intermittent fasting, I highly recommend the fizzies, excuse me for that. But why would you, here's my theory. Okay. Why would you, excuse me, why would you do this for your body? Why would you take the time and focus and all the things to do intermittent fasting and during those 8 hours, not take care of your body and fuel it properly? Because you're defeating the purpose. So I have talked to a lot of people that also were fasting, and they were saying that. They're like, well, I mean, I love it because I just eat whatever I want in the 8 hours or whatever. And I'm like, no, y'all, there's so much more to taking care of your body than just weight loss, if that makes sense. So the reason why you would want to do the Arbonne 30 alongside intermittent fasting is because the Arbonne 30 is going to focus on some other pieces of the puzzle. Number one, we're going to reduce inflammation. Yes, I know intermittent fasting helps with that too. I get it. But why not make it even better? Why not put in the top addictive, allergenic, inflammatory things like gluten and dairy and all those things? So we're going to focus on that, eliminating those top allergens and toxins. And here's the other thing. Fat also surrounds toxins in our body to keep them from damaging other organs. So you want both. You not only want the drop in your insulin level so that you can let go of the sugar from your fat cells. You also want the drop in your toxic overload level so that you can, so now there's no need for the fat cells, okay? You don't need them for anything. You don't need them to store the sugar. You don't need them to store the toxins, okay? So there's that. So we're focusing on that, but we're also focusing on gut health. We've got a probiotic, prebiotic, and digestive enzyme that's pharmaceutical grade. It's proven to survive the gastric juices in your stomach. And if you are eating whatever you want in those 8 hours, you might be doing damage to your gut. And if you're doing damage to your gut, you're not going to be absorbing the nutrients that you need to feel good and have energy. So for me, I still work out during those 8 hours. Like I'm still working out, or you can work out during the fasting period too, however you decide to do it. So you need to feel good for that. You need the energy, right? So that's important as well. We're going to also focus on eating low glycemic during those 8 hours, because again, that's going to only enhance the benefits that you are going to get from the intermittent fasting. So if you can eat low glycemic, that also helps your body to not have this spike in blood sugar. So we focus on certain foods that are going to give you that low glycemic index with the food, so that your body's not having, your pancreas is not having to respond with insulin a lot. And that does a couple of things. So number one, yes, keeps the insulin levels down in your body so you can lose weight like we just talked about. But it also is going to help with cravings and hunger and all the things. So it's, to me, and there's so much more I could go into in this video, but I didn't want to make it super long. But if you're doing intermittent fasting, please, please, please consider doing the Arbonne 30 alongside it, because the benefits from both of these things together are astounding. You are going to have not only the weight loss that you're getting from intermittent fasting, you're going to find that you'll be able to keep it off better because you're letting go of toxins. So again, letting go of the fat for good, hopefully. You're going to focus on your gut health, so you're absorbing your nutrients. You're going to focus on you're going to have a much better energy level. We're going to focus on just reducing that inflammation even more, not eating acidic things. We're going to focus on eating low glycemic and teaching you what that is, and then really focusing on when you are having a meal, eating the right proportions, eating things that don't have hidden toxins in them, that are just going to basically negate what you're doing with intermittent fasting. So hopefully this was helpful. There's so much more we could talk about with intermittent fasting and so much more with the Arbonne 30, but I just want to encourage you, if you're doing intermittent fasting, to please know that one of the best things you could do is add the Arbonne 30 alongside it. And you don't have to do intermittent fasting to do the Arbonne 30, yay, because it's not for everyone, that's for sure. One thing I know from studying this big giant book is that there's really no one diet for everyone. And that's the beauty of the Arbonne 30. It's not a diet. It's actually just a lifestyle. It's a way to just eat cleaner for your body and to flush out toxins and reduce inflammation and all the things that anybody could use, right? Everybody needs this. So I just wanted to come to you guys, talk a little bit about that. I hope that this was helpful. Please feel free to reach out and ask more questions. I'll try to answer them or find the answer for you. Bye.